Welcome to Narrow Ground Entertainment. I'm Steve the Unimpressed. This is Steve Solo's Minecraft episode 21. I have not entirely settled all of the things that I'm going to do in this episode, but one thing that I know I am going to do is modify the entrance to the Undercroft. I have talked a little bit in the past about changing that into a water elevator system, and I think I'm going to do that today because I have been climbing up and down that ladder a lot, and it is slow. I'm also not exactly sure when this episode is going to come out. It will probably be several weeks after Christmas by this point, but I'm recording it on December 26th. So Merry Christmas, everyone. That is why all the chests look like Christmas presents. Going to need to bring a little bit of soul sand with me. I should only need one piece, but I'll bring more just in case. I'm also going to bring all the glass that I have with me. And I'm probably going to trade a little bit more of that for my villagers because I don't think that this is going to be quite enough for what I have in mind. It might be enough, but it never hurts to have extra. I don't really have that many emeralds right now. I have 29, so I should probably also take some stuff down there to sell to the villagers. Henry the Fletcher buys string, I know that. I'm not sure if he'll buy this much, but I'll bring it down anyway. I have not set up a spider spawner farm yet. I do intend to do that eventually, so I don't really need to conserve my supplies of string anymore. I can sell as much of that as I want. As much as Henry will buy, really. And he'll buy quite a bit, as it turns out. 2.25 stacks? Yeah. So, not bad. And I'm going to buy some glass from Albert the librarian. And I come out still up on emeralds. And they'll refresh their trades in a little bit, so I can probably come back later and get even more. Actually, I might be able to get even more now. Yep. Sell off the rest of that. And let's see. Let's get a little more glass. There. That should be enough. Now this is going to involve doing a little more demolition work on this area. I have to come down here and refresh my memory of exactly where this is positioned. Okay. Now if I recall correctly, what I had originally intended to do when I got to this point was to have a bubble column up on one side, which will probably be this side, and just a water drop here. Upward moving bubble columns are quite efficient at getting you up, but the downward moving bubble columns are a little bit slow about getting you down. They're not as slow, or they're not as fast rather, as just falling. So instead of a bubble column to go down, I'm just going to put in a hole in the floor with water at the bottom for me to fall into, which, in Minecraft at least, will break your fall. And I'm now realizing one of my mistakes is that I did not bring an axe with me, because I still haven't made a good axe that I wanted to put mending on. I do have a bunch of axes up in the house by my enchanting setup, waiting for that purpose though. So, let me go see if I can take care of that. After the production of one exceptionally good diamond axe, which of course I have named Paul Bunyan, because what else would you name an axe? I am back. And now I can cut a hole in the floor. Very quickly, as a matter of fact. Ow. Now this side will be the drop side, which will just be one pool of water. I will probably have to be a little bit careful to make sure that when I fall into the pool of water. So I may have to put a glass enclosure from there to the bottom. It may actually be sufficient, though, to just have this hole from the threshold of the door going down. Hopefully that will be enough guidance for me to land in the water. Alright, well, that works for now. If I find myself dying too often by landing next to the pool of water, I will modify that. But for now, that'll do. The other side is going to be a little more complicated. And we'll have to start with the removal of this stuff because it's in the way. This is basically where I've been keeping all of the construction material for the Undercroft, which, as you can see, is starting to get bigger. But it can't stay this close anymore, so this stuff has to move. Now those are out of the way, I can continue. Since this column that I'm standing in is where I want the bubble column to wind up, I'm going to take that out, and I'm going to put a block of soul sand on the bottom there. And around that, I'm going to put glass on those three sides. I will have to cut this down eventually. I will need a little more glass poking out this way for a few layers. After that, it will be completely enclosed. There, that's enough to start with. Oh, I forgot a few things, so I better go back and get them. Alright, the water drop worked twice, so that's a good sign. One of the peculiar properties of kelp is that if it is planted in a descending column of water, or a column of flowing water, it will, when broken, turn the flowing water blocks into water source blocks. To make a bubble column, every block of water all the way up to the top have to be source blocks. So what I will be doing here, I'm going to complete this glass tube all the way up, and at the top of that I will place one water source block. Then I will come down and plant kelp all the way from bottom to top, and then break it. And that should give me a working bubble column. Let's see how that actually works out, though. First, I'm going to put up some fence gates here and open those. These will prevent the water from flowing out once it is placed inside. The water source there can't flow out of the opening because the fence gates are blocking it. And actually, that has established a one-block bubble column. So what it's doing there is trying to shoot me up to the top of the column of water, which it actually is. It's just not shooting me very far because the column of water is only one block high. And I've made the mistake of taking the ladders off when I still actually need to get through those spaces. So I'm going to place a few more water source blocks if I can manage to do that. There we go. So that I can get up to the top of the glass again. There. That wasn't noisy at all. Alright, now from here I should just have to continue to climb up. I had not considered that these are actually only half blocks. This is slabs, or bottom half and top half slabs, to make a centered little archway piece there. Or an off-center little archway piece, really. And there aren't glass slabs, as far as I'm aware. So those are just going to be blank holes for now. I don't know. We'll see how that looks. Maybe I'll change it in the future, and maybe I'll leave it. Probably that will depend on whether or not I actually even notice it. Another question comes in at this middle level, which is, I am going to need to get to the middle level, so how am I going to arrange to get there? While I think about it, I'm just going to take this column down. Here's what I think I am going to try, and we will see if it winds up working. I'm going to go back down here and collect another bucket of water and make another fence gate. And I'm going to put an open fence gate in the middle of this drop and put it to prevent water from flowing downwards. And on top of that, I'm going to put another water source block, because that will slow me down here so that if I want to, I can get off at the middle floor. Or maybe I'm overcomplicating this. Maybe what I should do is just have the one drop, and then on one of the other sides of this column, build a whole second bubble column. You know what? I think that seems like a better solution, honestly. Let's go back down here quickly. Let me see. That would need to come right here then. Yeah, that should work quite well. Let me get my Silk Touch pickaxe back out and take these pieces of glass out. Make another hole in the floor. Fill it with soul sand, not stone. Soul sand, please. Thank you. And I think I can actually reuse this gap here. Oop. Yeah, I think that will actually work quite well. And this one will only go up one level. In fact, with one bucket of water and some kelp, I actually should be able to complete that one immediately, if I don't get stuck on the ladders going up. So that would be right here, hole in the floor, flowing water down. Now I'm going to plant this kelp going up, and come back to the bottom and break it. See if I can actually get around. I walked right past it. It's not sending me up right now. Break the kelp. And it's complete. Those have turned into water source blocks and it shot me to the top. So that worked perfectly. That's a much simpler solution than whatever else I was trying to think about doing. I'm glad I thought of that. You know, eventually. We can't all be the sharpest knife in the drawer. And then this bubble column will need to continue all the way to the top. Which means I'm going to need to keep building up with the glass. Like that. And I will need to cut out this ladder, place this water source block, and I think those ladders will block the water going down. Yes. So as I descend, I will need to cut out all of these ladders. Alright, all the ladders are out. You can kind of see here the requirement that the nuts. And I drowned. Okay, well, that went well. I think my ineptitude there demonstrated quite well, and is continuing to demonstrate quite well, that the bubble column needs source blocks to function. Let's see if I can get back out before I drown again. There we go. Yes. Bubble column needs source blocks to actually transport you up. Water that is flowing down, well, that kind of transports you down a little bit. So I wound up just getting caught between the two and not really thinking about the fact that I didn't have, say, a respiration helmet that would let me stay underwater longer, or even better, a water breathing potion. I actually could go make one of those. I don't think it's really worth it though. Add that to the list of deaths caused by ineptitude that have appeared in this series. Not sure how many of those there are now. Quite a few. I'm going to descend and plant the rest of this with kelp so that I can turn the rest of these into source blocks the way I did with the first one. Alright, kelp up to the top. Now let's go to the bottom. Something has gone wrong. There we go. Kelp is now broken. Alright, and that shot me to the top very effectively. Now, what is the cause of this mess? I'm just going to assume that planting the kelp there waterlogged these half blocks. It is either that or there's a gap in my tubes somewhere. And I don't think that I left any gaps like that. No, it really seems like it's just they're leaking through the half slabs. I'm going to go ahead and take out these half slabs and replace those with glass. And let's see if that fixes it. Preferably without drowning again. Okay. That has fixed it. Isn't there another set? I'm pretty sure there's another set of half slabs in there somewhere. Ow. Okay. Building a glass tube around the drop, too. I don't want to die more than one death from ineptitude per episode. Actually, I'll need to get back down from here, so let's take out 2 blocks so I can still jump into the hole from here. Yeah, there's still a set of half slabs there, so I'm not entirely sure why water started suddenly leaking out of one side and not out of the other. Slabs can be waterlogged, so I can cause that deliberately. If a space is occupied by many of the things that aren't full blocks, like stairs and slabs, and quite a number of other things, you can waterlog that block so it will still have a water source in it and also a slab or a staircase in it, which results in, water flowing everywhere, exactly how we just had. Now that I'm looking at it, considering where these fence gates are, I think I can actually remove this little bit of glass as well. Let me just try that. Yeah. And that honestly looks a little bit cleaner. So I think I will go with that. And let's complete the glass tube for the water drop, because I've already nearly killed myself accidentally by falling down it at least twice. So, there. I can drop into this and get out of it. I think, if I remember correctly, that you can place a chest in that and waterlog a chest, and you will still not take any damage when you fall onto it, but your feet will be right at floor level, so when you are trying to get out, you don't wind up banging your head on the lintel. I guess it qualifies. Let me just try that. Where did I leave the extra chests I was carrying around earlier? Don't know. Let's just make a new one. Alright, waterlogged chest in there. Certainly easier to walk out of. Let's see if I take damage when I fall onto it. Nope, no damage. Perfect. That is much faster and much more convenient. Actually, I guess those two are kind of related. It's more convenient because it's faster. Goal complete. Let me just put away some of this extra stuff. The stone can stay down here. I definitely did have more than enough glass at the beginning of the episode. I didn't need to buy extra at all. But that's fine. Oh, I have also trapped another zombie villager down here. That's actually been a while ago. I haven't gotten around to curing it yet. This was not one of the ones that picks up a block that you drop for it or items that you drop for it, so I did have to name tag it. This one is named Beth. Sooner or later, we will get Beth up to the surface and cure her with the others, but that will probably wait until I have started building houses somewhere around my bay for my villagers. For now, Beth stays a zombie and stays down in the Undercroft. I am going to fall into that hole all the time when I'm not actually intending to go down to the Undercroft. It's a good thing it's not going to kill me at the bottom. As long as I'm working on building stuff in this episode, let's go and fix some of the spots that I've noticed in my house that are wrong. Where's my axe? Let's take down this birch ball and replace that with dark oak logs. There. That one's fixed. Those birch planks that I just cut out will come in handy because I need one here. I think that was all of them. And just scout around quickly to see if there are more. No, that looks like that was all of them. Just wait, I'll notice one again in the next episode. That is where I'm going to end this episode. We got to fumble around with building water elevators and watch me die a completely incompetent death, as so many of my deaths really are. Thank you for watching. Please leave a like on this video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to my channel to see more content from me, and if you'd like to help my channel grow, please share it with your friends. Goodbye and God bless.